What's going on, you guys? Welcome to my Mentality podcast. This is Rodolfo,
And my name is Eric.
and we're so glad to have you guys for our second podcast. We're going to be talking a little bit about vision, but before we get started, let's go ahead and cue the music, and we got an opening segment for you guys today. So today I'm going to be featuring the opening segment, and it is called "Give Me the Remote." This is the first time we're doing it, so don't be too harsh on us. So basically, Eric has no clue the 5 TV shows that I have selected. And all he has to do is respond with, sure, I'll watch that. Or if he disagrees with what I'm watching, he can just reply with, give me the remote. So first on the list here is a show that came back already this year. 4 of the 5 shows are coming back next year. All of these shows are already past their 10th season, so they have a really, really good reputation. So first on the list is Shameless, season 12. It came back December 6th. Eric?
Honestly, I have not seen Shameless. I've heard a lot of great things about it, but in all honesty, I would say give me the remote because I don't see any learning tools that I can get from that show. So I would say give me the remote, absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. And I do agree. For those who haven't watched Shameless, it is pretty explicit, so I do not advocate for everyone to watch it. Be careful for you youngsters. Number 2 on the list, this one, everyone has seen this show. They're on season 15. The date to be released in 2021 is still to be decided on. But second on the list, America's Got Talent.
Oh, absolutely love America's Got Talent. There's so many unique individuals with unique talents that surprise me, and I think that their work ethics that they show on behind scenes, on how it took for them to get to where they are and perform and do those things, it's amazing. I absolutely think it's a watch for me.
Yeah, I agree. I've been stuck on YouTube before on just America Got Talent compilations and top 10, stuff like that. So I agree. All right, number 3 on the list. This one's took me a second to get used to. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is always fun to watch people who return on the show. This TV show is working on their 12th season. Again, their date is also to be decided on. Number 3 on the list is America Ninja Warrior.
Ooh, this is a tough one. I used to be really into it. I loved watching American Ninja Warrior. But as the seasons have gone, it's kind of dropped off, in all honesty. It used to be really good. Now it's just kind of getting the same old thing. So I'm just going to say, pass me the remote.
All right, fair enough. Okay, now this one, you guys do not judge me, and I can't lie to you guys. They're on their 25th season. And some of you guys may know already just by me saying that. Their date is also to be decided for 2021. Like I said, can't say I haven't watched a season or 2 with my fiance. Number 4th on the list, Eric, The Bachelor.
Oh, this is easy. Watch.
Yeah, yeah.
All the way through, I'm watching The Bachelor and I'm in it. I'm
Yeah.
in for the drama and I'm in for the excitement. I think it's awesome.
Definitely. Alrighty, and 5th and final, last but not least, this show, they're on their 4th season, but they're very promising. The season's very promising. They constantly add new obstacles to the course. And 5th on the list, Eric, Alan's Game of Games.
Oh, I don't know if I've heard of that.
It's Ellen DeGeneres, The Game of Games.
Oh, Ellen DeGeneres. I like her. I haven't actually seen or heard the television show, but I think I'm gonna say pass me the remote.
Okay. Okay. I do recommend it. It's really fun. She does contestants of 2s, and I think she starts off with 6 to 8 starting, and then she does like a process of elimination. So if there's 2 and they face another couple, the couple that loses, they don't get eliminated. Only one person gets eliminated, and then and it's just process of elimination from there. Eventually, it winds down to 4, and then they compete for $100,000 after the end of every show. So it's super cool. You could actually download the app called Alan's Game of Games to give you like a run through of actually how the whole thing works out. So that's gonna do it for this segment, you guys. We hope you guys really enjoyed it. But yeah, we're ready to kick off this podcast. We're about a little bit under 10 minutes in, so we're ready to get this working. So if you guys haven't already, grab your pen, grab your paper, and let's get ready to learn.
Today's podcast, we're going to be talking about visualization. And I just want to start off with the book definition so that way you guys can understand what it is that we're talking about. And then we'll give our spin of it and what our interpretation of what visualization is. So, visualization is any technique for creating images, diagrams, or animations to communicate a message. Now, if you have ever seen the Oprah Winfrey TV show back then when Jim Carrey was on, he had this one really interesting perspective when before he had blown up to be the movie actor that he is, he he wrote a check before he was even considered famous for $10 million and he kept it in his wallet. And that visualization of the $10 million saying one day I'm going to cash this check for $10 million. And it wasn't a visualization of like, I'm just going to believe it and hope it comes true. It was, I'm going to cash this check and I'm going to be famous. I mean, I think that's such a powerful message. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. When Eric and I were thinking about what should we name this podcast, we want it to be catchy. We want it to be like an attention grabber, something that would get you guys to click on this video. And initially, my idea was faith or full, and Eric was like, I don't think that's really faith. Faith is more like believing. Like what Jim was doing is kind of like doing. You know, he was past the whiteboard, vision board. He was past the affirmations where he's like, I'm gonna be successful. No, no, no. He wrote it down and he had it on his person 24/7. Anytime he left the house, he didn't literally have 10 million, but he was feeding that to his spirit. He was putting it out in the atmosphere that wherever he goes, he's worth 10 million minimum. And so that was more than faith, and he was definitely not foolish for doing something like that.
Definitely. It reminds me of when I was younger and I was trying to learn how to transition from riding a bicycle without training wheels. And my interpretation of visualization is I was trying to ride a bike and I kept falling down. Whatever I would try every technique possible and I would just fall down on my bike and I was getting frustrated. I got so frustrated, I just called it quits. I said, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm bruised up. I'm done. So I decided to call it a day. And I remember going to bed that night visualizing myself riding that bike. And what I mean by visualizing, I mean like a simulation in my head, if that makes sense. So I imagine myself on my bike, right? There's nobody around me. I'm on my sidewalk and I'm like at the start line, basically. And I'm looking at the playing field ahead of me. I see there's a crack in front of me. To the left, there's a car. There's a street. To the right is my house. Okay, where's the turn? There's a turn about 50 feet ahead. I see there's a bump here. There's some rocks here. I'm trying to get the layout of what I'm gonna do when I start riding this bike. And then I start to move on to the sensation, right? If I put my left foot on the pedal, what counterbalance do I need to be able to start riding? Do I need to put pressure on my left foot and then lean to the right? Do I need to counterbalance it when I start going again on the right foot? These are all things that I'm going through my head and I'm trying to visualize on how to ride a bike. And I was spent all night thinking about every scenario, every situation, every move, every feeling. And I remember there was like this instant aha moment. I know how to ride a bike now. And I woke my mom up at 6 a.m. And I said, Mom, I know how to ride a bike. I want to try it. I want to go right now. And she's like, okay. So she got up, got my bike. I went out there. And same thing. I positioned myself where I envisioned myself. I put myself there. I kind of looked around. I'm like, okay. And instantly I started riding the bike. I did not fall once. I didn't hesitate. It was instinct learned behavior just through the visualization that I had of the night prior, because visualization was everything, and that was such a unique experience that I've taken that and visualized a lot further than that in my life. But is there anything personally that you've gone through, Felix, that kind of stands out for visualization?
Yeah, so kind of to piggyback on your example, with like being younger, whether it was rollerblades, a scooter, bike, um, what are they called? Those rip sticks. Um, I I want to point out to the audience that we have, when Eric was telling me this, when we first started talking about his simulation, and he's predicting the cracks, he's predicting his movement, he's expecting, like, in his mind what to expect. Okay, there's going to be that red car, the neighbor's red truck's always on that curb. There's that bump right on that corner. There's those things uh that he was processing, he was simulating, because he at the end of it, he's seen himself riding that bike. Okay, and so very similar to me with my childhood. I don't remember having training wheels. I just remember falling a lot. I remember running into bushes. I remember cuts and scrapes. I remember getting winded on the handlebars. I remember, uh, what is it called? Getting like corn dogged by the seat, just failing. But to transition into my point on vision, transitioning off of Eric, is coming from that place of when you fail, you kind of give up, you go back home and you think about what could you have done better, where could you have improved. And I wrote three words: prediction, expectation, desire. Those are all the things that come with visualizing something. These three things come with having success as the end result. You're not focused on the failures. You're not focused on the trauma. You're not focused on the process. Excuse me, the process. When you have success at the end of it, at the end of that finish line, you're going to have, my word that I want to emphasize in today's podcast is, you're going to have excitement. You're going to have a desire. You're going to have this burn to continue. There's not going to be anything that's going to stop you. And I know that sounds cliche and it sounds cheesy, but you have to understand that when you have success as the end goal, you're telling your body, at what cost? Nothing at that point is going to be too much to bear. And it starts off small, you guys. It starts off really small. So yes, definitely, I think the word that I want to use, that the word that Eric was experiencing, was excitement. And what I really want you guys to understand is, excitement breaks down into simulation. Excitement breaks down into prediction, into expectation, into desire. And I need you guys to understand that excitement wears off. And like Mike Tyson said, discipline is doing something you don't like, but doing it like you love it. Whether it's brushing your teeth, washing your face. You guys thought I was getting deep. No, we're talking about a day-to-day routine. What needs to get done around the house? Does your bathroom need to get cleaned? Does your laundry need to get washed, dried, and then folded and hung? You know, doing something that you don't enjoy, but doing it like you love it, that's discipline. That is excitement. Anyone can get excited on day one and day two of the project, but it's when fatigue starts kicking in. It's when your vision just doesn't seem clear. That, to me, is what will carry and decide your end result.
Absolutely. And you got to think about this too. What do you do once you get that excitement, right? Okay, now that I have that excitement, what do I do with it? Where do I put my eggs in which basket do I put this energy in, right? And you got to think about this whole podcast of visualizing where you need to put yourself, to position yourself. And working doesn't always mean that you're studying. It doesn't always mean that you're working out. These are things that are very useful and they're necessary to achieve success. However, if you can visualize where you need to put your effort and energy into, you don't have to work as hard in studying or working out. Now, let me say this again. This does not mean don't study or work out. These are essential and necessary parts to success. But what I'm saying is, it's better to work smarter than harder, if that makes sense. Now, when you visualize where you're going with, right? When you have a goal, you got to strategize and take a step back and realize, okay, what do I need to do to get where I want to go? And that visual of road mapping your success, right? Your steps, the necessary goals for, like Aaron was talking about, doesn't need to go deep. It can be as simple as brushing your teeth every morning, or making a bed. Those are essential things in making a right mindset and growing in success. And similar to my profession with the legal field, cross examinations, you already know what the witness is going to say before you even ask the question. And if you don't roadmap it and visualize ahead what and how it's going to sound like, it's just going to sound confusing. Because if I sound confused and I'm not confident in my cross examination, then why should the jury believe me, and why should the jury be confident in me? So, with that kind of stemming off of road mapping, you need to visualize where you need to put that energy in and focus in on working smarter and not harder.
Yeah, that's a great point. I like when you said that, like, if I don't sound confident, how are they going to believe me? And part of visioning something is it's seeing it through and not letting anything sway you, not letting any circumstance or someone's opinion sway you. It's very important to understand that what you have in mind may not be what someone has in mind for you. And what you see, people may not have the capacity to see what you see that far into the future. You know, I work at a youth shelter. I talk with clients one on one, and I'm already known as the staff that always talks about the future, always talks about what their 5 year plan is, or what they even, just not even that do, what they want to do in the future. And a lot of the clients say they don't think 5 minutes ahead. That's what they tell me. And I'm sure they're fooling around, and sometimes they're serious, and that's totally fine. But what that just shows me is that the capacity to see in the future hasn't been, that muscle hasn't been trained. And Eric brought up a good point. He was telling me it's not faith, it's an action. And what Jim was doing, what Jim Carrey was doing is he was manifesting it. You know, he wrote it down, and he carried it with him. And you know, he got in contact with the people he needed to get in contact with to really what's the word, like, groom him into the actor he is today. And that's what, like Eric said, you need to work smarter, not harder. And we talked about last podcast where a lot of the keys to success is your positioning, you know, in that vision. You know, if you want to be a NASCAR driver, you're definitely not going to be not driving at all, you know, or hitting the racetrack on a regular basis. You know, you have to understand that positioning is very essential, and that you have to see, you have to see it through. It's gonna get dark, you guys. It's gonna get dark, but you have to see it through. And so that's why we wanted to emphasize visioning, because visioning is a light. It's the roadmap. It's that night light, and that's over your foot, you know, on every footstep that you take through that dark valley. whether it's you're starting college, whether it's you're in trade school, you started cutting hair or being a cosmetologist, or you went into the fire academy, and you're nervous, you're scared, you're not sure if you could see it through. Your mom, your dad have never went into the fire academy or the EMT program. Your mom or dad never went into law school or into grad school, you know, and it's dark, but you have to understand that there's resources that you can reach out to, and that's all part of visioning, is making the start and road mapping. How can I make this journey easiest as possible? Because right now I can't see it through, and I believe that's the biggest problem when I'm talking to these youth, and they don't really see things through. They don't really see things 5 minutes ahead of them, and they tell me this face to face. I don't really think 5 minutes ahead of me. And what it is just that muscle, that memory muscle, that muscle of vision hasn't been contracted. And I believe that everyone, if you have a heart and if you have a brain, you have the capability to contract that muscle and to develop those gains, in that field of vision. And it's not deep, you guys. It's very simple. Again, we talked about having vision just to brush teeth every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, having the vision to wash your face every morning or to clean your room, having the vision to clean your car or to apply for a job and to really believe that that job is yours.
Yeah. And I kind of want to talk about how you build vision, because vision isn't just something that just clicks in your head or something that you kind of figure out as you go. Vision is just like any other muscle that you have, right? You have to work it out, you have to exercise it, and you have to continue to build your vision, because the more you build your vision, the more you unlock in like this quote unquote simulation. When I say, right, because I didn't just start off with I'm on my bike and I'm about to learn. I started off with gradually, okay, looking around at my surroundings. What do I need to do? It's research, it's visualizing. So some ways that you guys can build visualizing skills and muscle is by playing strategic games. And what I mean by playing strategic games, such as Monopoly, chess, checkers, Yahtzee, you play it to visualize 5 steps ahead of you. And not only 5 steps ahead of you, what is your opponent going to do? What's their next move? And how is their next move going to make you react, right? Then how is your reaction to their reaction going to do? And just a continuous snowball effect of just visualizing the next step, the next chess piece, the next move of what you're going to do in this game, when there's no cards on the table, there's nothing. These strategic games can help you build that visualization, that roadmap of planning a success, right? Because if you're going to win Monopoly and have the most money, you got to make sure that you're visualizing, okay, I see that I'm coming up on Boardwalk and there's like one hotel on it. I have enough to pay for it, but I also have enough to pay for a hotel, and the other player is about to land or may land on that, and I may get more money. So do I put my money in the hotel and have them land on it, or do I save it and continue to just so that I can get past Boardwalk and then collect my 200 at go? These are things that you got to think of when you're playing these games, and try and visualize your next step, so that way in life it's like muscle memory. It just goes and it clicks and you don't even think about it, but you're actually doing it when you're looking at a problem or a goal that you have. It's muscle memory. Okay, I got to do this. Okay, what if I do this? Then what's going to happen if I do that? Okay, that means I need to go and prepare for this. Things such as that you need to visualize, and those strategic games can help build that visualizing muscle.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I want to kind of get on, before we wrap this podcast up, I want to get on the art of conceiving vision. I think, if you haven't seen it yourself, whether it's through your sibling, whether it's through your parents, I think it's very hard for you to conceive it, meaning that it's hard for you to understand the process, to understand the requirement, the length of time it takes for it to come to fruition, for it to come to pass. Like, wow, like for me, It was a little bit hard for me to finish school. And my siblings hadn't finished school before me, you know, and I'm the second youngest. And so for me, it was like, man, does it really take 4 years? Does it really take 4 years? You know, does it really take a lot of essays? You know, and for me, it was kind of like it felt overwhelming, but the closer I got, the more it's believable for me. And I think that people who have siblings who finish college before them, they understand the grind, they understand the hustle, they understand the investment, the time it took to achieve that goal. Now, I'm going to transition to more tangible things that you can relate to. I know you guys are probably like, Eric, Rodolfo, I need more examples. I need something. So I have 3 examples for you today. So 3 things that I do to help build that vision muscle in our mind and in our heart. It's easy. What type of music are you into? And look into the artist. Look into the artist's background. And for an example, I have Post Malone. Before Post Malone blew up, he moved from Texas. He dropped out of college, moved from Texas to LA, and he was making YouTube videos. He was trying to drop streaming videos, him playing Guitar Hero, and he was doing acoustic covers, and he was building traction. He was working on his career, and then he started working at a studio, working with this what his friend who did music and released it to a studio. They published it, and literally overnight he was able to make his success. Another thing, movies. Sometimes they're not real. Sometimes they're what is it? Not they're fiction. Rocky Balboa for me, there's a storyline behind it. He's a homeless man in Philadelphia, and he makes this hustle through working at the gym and then training, and then boom, he gets a shot at the title. And then the very last thing, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before, Michael Jordan. He was cut in high school as a freshman. He didn't let that stop him. He continued to practice. He worked on his drills. He worked on his flaws. He lifted weights. He started eating more, and boom, now he's one of the greatest in basketball history. And before I have Eric close this off, I'm just going to give you guys 3 things that have to do with excitement, that have to do with believing and carrying it through from beginning to end. And the first one, small wins. It's you guys remember, it's a war. It's not a battle. If you fail one day, or if you dropped out, or whatever it is, you stop doing it. You guys, it's a war, not a battle. I've created so many YouTube channels over the past 5 years. It's a war. It's not a battle. Okay. Second thing, giving yourself credits. Something is better than nothing. Okay. So if your goal is to read a book and you started and never finished, something is better than nothing. If you read 1 page a day, you guys, something is better than nothing. And the third and final point that has to do with excitement, that has to do with believing in yourself, carrying it through from beginning to end, is remaining an underdog. Be humble, be teachable, consistently seek advice, consistently seek feedback, consistently trying to learn from someone. Go on YouTube, go on the social media pages, see how are they taking that picture, how are they posting that video, what are some body languages that they're doing, what are the words that you're using, how do I kind of follow what can I do to be like them. Be teachable, be humble, never think that you're too good to work with someone, to work under someone. You have to understand that masters were once followers at one point. And that's going to do it from my end. Eric, you can go ahead and summarize it, close this out, do your thing.
Yeah, just as you guys go on to this week, and you're facing some obstacles, or even just trying to build something, try and work on visualizing, and not just working, but putting your energy into specific things that could really elevate your level of commitment or success. Work out, just take a moment, or maybe an hour, 30 minutes a day, to visualize before you start your day. Visualize, okay, what am I going to do today? What do I need to accomplish? What do I need to get done? What do I need to do that? And take that time to visualize, because visualizing can be such a helpful or useful tool. And before you even go about your day, just take that time to visualize what your day is going to look like, and I guarantee you'll be more prepared, more confident, and more energized with your daily routine to have that. So yes, visualization, huge key.
All right, perfect. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Mentality Podcast. Again, this is Rodolfo.
My name is Eric.
And it was a pleasure having you guys. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and share this video if you guys enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.